dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 6 o'clock on Friday, July the 12th. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning in to Mountain News this morning. Well, it's foggy, so you're going to want to be careful heading into work or taking your kids to their summer programs today. But the good news, no rain. Let's bring Kelly in this morning. And Kelly, you say, of course, it's the summer, so there could be a slight chance. But for the most part, today should be a pretty clear day, right?
Right, exactly. Today should be pretty clear, especially compared to yesterday. But like you said, we're dealing with plenty of fog out there this morning, so let's go ahead and check on the visibility for you. A lot of places looking at less than 1 mile of visibility, especially into the Cumberland Valley region, so just be mindful of that as you head out the door this morning. But hey, at least we are dry, not too much to talk about on satellite and radar, and those temperatures are into the upper 60s to low 70s as you step out the door this morning. Now be careful on the roads because we do have that patchy fog, and we're going to see mostly cloudy skies for the morning, but then heading into the afternoon we'll see more sunshine, and a stray shower or two cannot be ruled out. I'll have that full forecast in just a little bit, Will.
All righty, Kelly, we'll be back with you. Well, part of Old Highway 80 in Perry County was closed Thursday afternoon due to a single vehicle deadly crash. WYMT's Katie Cook was at the scene and has more.
The crash happened just before noon on Thursday.
Received a call of a single vehicle accident here on West Kentucky Highway 80.
Police say one woman died in the crash. People nearby heard the collision and dialed 911.
Well, I was standing on top of the bridge there looking over at these guys, and I just heard a tire squeal and a big thud.
While the investigation is ongoing, officers suspect wet road conditions could have caused the car to hydroplane.
When the weather's hot and when it first begins to rain, it brings oils up out of the road and makes the roadway extremely slick.
No other passengers were in the car at the time.
And hopefully, through our investigations, we'll hopefully be able to find a little bit more out maybe what caused the accident.
Nearby workers witnessed the crash and are counting their blessings.
Makes you think, you know, that could happen. I mean, it could happen to anybody.
While others face the loss of a loved one. In Perry County, Katie Cook, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, that portion of Old Highway 80 has since reopened since the crash. Officials say 61-year-old Frankie Crawford of Hazard died. Now, earlier this week, we told you about 4 inmates that escaped the Kentucky River Regional Jail. One was caught immediately. Now, a second escapee is back behind bars. This man, Stephen Smith, was taken back into custody by Kentucky State Police and the Perry County Sheriff's Department yesterday. Officials say they found him in the Christopher community. It is not known what new charges he will face. Meanwhile, police are still searching for these 2 men, James Reed and Kenneth Spurlock. If you have any information on where they are, you are asked to contact the Kentucky River Regional Jail at 606-436-1008 or call your local police agency. Well, after 6 months of searching, the family of Savannah Spurlock now has some answers. Kentucky State Police announced remains found late Wednesday night at a Garrett County home are that of the Richmond mother. Early Thursday morning, police arrested David Sparks. Investigators say his family owns the property where Spurlock's remains were found. Our cameras were there as he walked into jail. He was arraigned yesterday afternoon on charges of tampering with evidence and abuse of a corpse. State police say they still have a lot of questions to answer. Angela Reigert has more.
As a result of the autopsy, we can now confirm that the remains are those of Savannah Spurlock.
After 6 months, a heartbreaking crack in the case of the missing Richmond mother.
Our sobs of pain and physical anguish are met with moments of our beautiful memories of the vibrant and vivacious person she was.
Savannah Spurlock's aunt taking to social media now that they have some answers.
As hard as the last 6 months have been, the truth of what happened that night in January is going to be even more painful.
Our cameras were there as police arrested David Sparks early Thursday morning. We learned it was here on this property his family owns in Garrett County where police found Spurlock's remains. This after the homeowner called their attorney saying they smelled something. Her remains were buried along with some evidence, though we don't know what exactly that evidence is. Police had searched this home before.
There are still many questions. For one, we still don't know how Savannah died and why her remains are turning up now.
trying to determine when the body may have been placed there.
In a news conference, state police explained there's still a lot of investigating to do. As of now, Sparks only faces abuse of a corpse and tampering with evidence charges.
Based upon her location, where she was located, we felt that the abuse of the corpse and tampering with physical evidence was a charge that we could, actually charge him with this morning.
It's important to note there are no charges against the other two men Spurlock was seen leaving that Lexington bar with back in January.
We pray that justice will be served by anyone involved.
They fought a very public fight. Now this family is looking for privacy as they enter this new stage of grief.
Savannah, we love you so much. Rest in heaven.
Reporting in Richmond, Angela Reigert, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, police say it is not known if Sparks will face additional charges. He will be back in court on Monday for a preliminary hearing. Well, for months, we have brought you stories on the efforts to bring Savannah home to her family, from signs and rewards to search parties and tip boxes. The community has worked to find justice for her family. Now, Good Samaritans say they are heartbroken, but glad there is an end to the worrying and waiting.
You know, the whole story just touched me from day one, and I just never got away from it.
Now that Spurlock's remains have been found, those who knew her now wait for justice. Well, a meeting took place in Hazard yesterday. It is for black workers with Black Jewel and Sykes who find themselves without a job. Black Jewel workers are in a hard place because their checks have not cleared for 3 weeks. Now workers are left wondering where to go from here and wishing this whole thing would have been handled differently.
The biggest problems with their payroll that they had received had bounced. Probably if that payroll wouldn't have bounced, that these miners probably would have been a little more lenient and tried to work with the company. But when you catch your paycheck and they bring it back away from you, it's pretty bad.
If you have any questions about any of the available help or options for Black Jewel miners, contact your local judge executive's office. Well, several runners in Harlan County are raising awareness about the financial hardships Black Jewel employees are enduring. They spent their day running laps around the county, going inside businesses, down every street, and past every house that they can, asking for donations for the miners. WYMT's Hannah Reynolds was with them yesterday.
Running for money, Joyce Chang and other Harlan runners woke up early for a good cause.
I wouldn't have got up this morning if it wasn't for this cause. If it was a road race, no, I wouldn't have got up. No. But this one's important to her.
Chang says she has lived in Harlan for 25 years. As a business owner, she knows firsthand the domino effect hundreds of people losing their paychecks can cause. And she knew she had to do something to help out.
All my business and what I have today is all from coal miner supporter.
Then she got an idea.
I'm a runner, so I'm thinking, I could run, make my run more worth it when I run on the road.
So she decided to run 50 miles in a coal miner's outfit around Harlan, and other runners decided to join in.
I got a backpack, a small one, big one, and we all these friends to collect all the dollar, quarter, penny, don't matter.
Chang says she and the runners hope that by the end of the day, they can raise $5,000 for the coal miners. In Harlan County, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
They were expected to continue running until 6 yesterday. There is no word yet if they hit or exceeded their goal. They'd expect to know more this morning. Well, yesterday we got reports of some flooding in the Middlesboro area. Check out this. Brian O'Brien, WRIL, sent us these pictures. A woman had to be rescued after she drove into flooded waters. 2 Good Samaritans were able to get her out of the car. Always remember to never drive into floodwaters or through them. Turn around. Please do not drown.
Well, good news for anyone that did experience flooding yesterday. A few dry days are on the way. Pinpoint Doppler showing not too much activity this morning, so that is definitely some good news for those folks. But overall, those clear skies are letting some fog settle in. So here's that visibility map. Be very careful on the roadways this morning. As you head out the door, be sure to give yourself plenty of extra time and use those low beams out on the roads, especially into those valley regions where that fog could be pretty dense at times. University of Virginia at Wise, you can see a little bit of fog rolling in in. It looks like it's starting to kind of clear out within the last couple frames of this time lapse. So that is some good news for us this morning. And those temperatures are in the upper 60s to lower 70s. And we will get up into the mid 80s by the time we get to the afternoon. And I'll have that extended forecast in just a little bit, Will.
All righty, Kelly, we'll be back with you. Well, thank you for joining us right here on Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Amazon is revealing how it plans to invest more than $700 million in its human workforce.